Hey folks, today I want to walk you through one of the tracks I'm working on for a library album that's got kind of an indie rock sort of vibe to it. I don't know, what am I supposed to say? I'm going to pretend I'm talking to you.
Yeah. What are you working on right now?
It's an indie rock song for library stuff. It's called Indie Rock 3 right now. I just don't got a name for it.
Why would you name it Indie Rock 3?
Because it's the third try, third attempt, third time's a charm.
Do you recommend people name their tracks like that?
No. I'm going to put it'll have a real name eventually. It's got to come to me. Actually, I'm probably going to ask you, what would you name it? You would probably be the namer.
I would be a terrible namer.
Well, okay. So right now we're in Pro Tools. I've got quite a lot of it done already. I did here's my drums, which are all the Logic drummer. I love the Logic drummer.
Why?
Because you just tell it what to do and it does. It's like a drummer that does what you ask it to do. You don't have to program anything. It's wonderful. But here we go. I'll solo these. Oh man. Pro Tools people are gonna really not like me using the mouse too much. So anyway, that's Logic drummer. Sounds fine. I might replace it. I might replace it with something else. I don't know. Most of my songs begin with me playing an acoustic guitar and coming up with a thing. Normally, once Whiskey has gone to bed, I'll come upstairs and sit with him in the floor in the bedroom and play the acoustic guitar. But this is what I've recorded so far. I'm just playing a snippet. So that's a little taste of that. I'm not going to play the whole thing. The bass, and the acoustic is mic'd up with a AKG 214, wherever that is, somewhere. And then I'm using the DI output from a Taylor C something 14. What is this called? 114C. The DI coming out of it sounds pretty good. Surprisingly good. I think I've kind of EQ'd this one a little weird, so it might not sound good. Yeah, I mean, I thinned it out, I think, a little bit because this had the bottom on it. And it looks like I've panned those very hard. I didn't realize I did that. Anyways. So then I've got some guitars here. The guitar 1 is my SG. So let's hear what the SG sounds like. Oh. Keyboard shortcuts. So the SG is just one part all the way through, and I've took a couple different signals from the UAD Tweed emulation, and then I've also reamped it. And so that's kind of like, what's the point of this video? Well, I was going to show how I reamp things. So we'll get to that in a minute. We were going to play the thing.
Were we?
Yeah. All right, here we go. This is the whole song. text. So one thing I did with the guitars is I made sure to have, like, even though I recorded multiple passes, I didn't do the whole thing in one go. I'm still trying to have guitar 1 is like one guitar player playing all the way through the song, and guitar 2 is a different guitar player all the way through the song. It's almost over. So for these guitars, I've got guitar 1, .57 and .121. I'm using the U80 Tweed emulation with the SM57 and then the Royer 121. And these, like I was saying earlier, are reamped. So I want to show how I can get all 3 of those signals from the UA console here. So grab a guitar. So the key things are you want to put the amp in this unison slot and turn it off. That's basically just going to serve to change the input impedance on the front of the Apollo. So we'll switch this to the off position. Now it's different than just turning off the power to it, because that won't do anything. That's just going to be the regular high Z input. And this is from the manual. I mean, if you read the manual, you'll see I'm not really doing anything different than what it explains. Now what I'm going to do is put the same thing here on this aux. And I've got this in pre-fader, so that now when I send from the first input, I can mute that and then have the signal coming out. So this is just whatever the default, initial patch. I'm just going to leave that for now. And switch over to Pro Tools and show you how to set up the inputs. So for the DI, the first input. And then here for the 57, let's see. Which way do I want to go with that? So I'm going to pan this one all the way to the left, and I'll pan the Royer all the way to the right. And so that means that in Pro Tools, when I go to my aux input, left is going to be the 57, and then the 121 will be on the right. Obviously, you can blend them together and do whatever you want to here in the plugin, but I'll just do it because I'm going to be doing this auxiliary thingy anyway, because I want to capture my DI, so I might as well do this too, and then I can decide later how I want it to sound, or I can delete these completely and run it back through the plugin again with different settings. Anyway, so here, let's record just something. So there's my DI signal. Here's the 57. Here's the Royer. That's really quiet, but I recorded these onto the tracks that I was using in this song, so the panning and volume don't really make a lot of sense in that context. Point is you got, your different signals as mono tracks now. You got your DI and both mic positions. Alrighty, so I'm going to wrap this one up, showing you the process I do for reamping. And, do your own research. See if you want to get a reamp box. I mean, that's ideal. What I'm doing is just taking the signal straight out of an Apollo Twin. But don't do that just because I'm doing it. They do make dedicated reamp boxes. So I think what I want to do on this one is take my DI for the Strat and run it through some effects processing here on this last chorus, and then blend that back in with my signal that we've got here. So let's take a listen. So it's just clean guitar. But I'm not going to use that for reamping. I have the actual DI. And this was 2 performances here, so there's two signals. So I may just take one of these, actually. We're going to come out of the Apollo. Yeah, we'll come out on line 3. And I'm going to run that through a couple pedals. And then we'll go back in on the high Z input. And then I'll do some more processing. So this it's actually going to go out, then back in, and then back out again. So there may be some delay compensation we'll need to deal with, but since it is kind of for an effect, and it's going to be delayed and reverbed and everything, it might just be fine. But I might have to alter some settings to make the hardware delay not be too prominent. But we'll see. I can always just nudge it back by a few samples until it sounds right. Let's see. All right, so we got coming out of 3. Trying to do a little bit of video with my phone here. We'll go into these 2. I'm using a bass amp side. I don't have a guitar amp that is working right now, so we're going to go into a bass amp. So I'm going to use this tube screamer here to put a little dirt. So I'm kind of pull the volume back here as I'm going out into the amp. So I need what I'm going to do here is send this to output 4. So we'll pan that all the way right. Okay. So now we're sending out on channel 4 now. So I'm going to take that and go out to the amp out in the hall and thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this, please don't forget to subscribe and give thumbs up. What?
Ding.
Oh, my producer's telling me to tell you to ding the bell, because that's important.